Welcome to our PL Possibilities series. These videos have been created to assist teachers in improving their Canvas skills for the purposes of teaching and learning. This video is part of the Evidence of Learning playlist. An overview of the Evidence of Learning playlist is displayed on the screen. This video will focus on group discussions and grouped assignments. There are two ways to create a group discussion. Start by clicking on Discussions and adding a discussion. As with any discussion, provide a title and some instructions for your students. Establish the options for your discussions. Remember, if it's marked, it will go through to the gradebook within Canvas. Remember to stay organised with your assignments within your Canvas course as a teacher. In this case, I'm going to create this group discussion within Unit 1. As I'm establishing this as a group discussion, I don't want to assign it to everyone. I'm going to assign it to the two students in my sample course so that they can have a conversation together. And I'm going to hit Save. Remember, because I haven't assigned it to everyone, I'm getting this warning message. Because this is intended, click Continue. Remember to publish so that students can see this discussion. Another way of creating a group discussion involves creating some group sets. This can be done from the discussion space. Click Discussion. Again, make sure that you have your discussion title and instructions for your students. Provide the options that will allow your students to interact with this discussion. By enabling a group discussion in this method, what you are effectively doing is creating a small Canvas space for your students to use as a small group. Students who are not assigned to this group will not see the Canvas space that is provided. The group set name allows you to organise all your groups under a particular topic, in this case an inquiry project. It could be your numeracy groups, it could be your literacy groups, or any other groups you use within your class. You can allow self-sign-up so that students can choose their own group. If you allow self-sign-up, you can choose how many groups there are, and you can limit the number of groups to a certain maximum number of members. And you can also choose to automatically assign a student group leader, either setting the first student or setting a random student as the group leader. If you don't allow self-sign-up, you can actually establish the group structure by splitting the students into a certain number of groups, and students would be randomly assigned to those groups. Again, you can also choose to automatically assign a student group leader. If you select to create groups manually, you'll have to actually set those groups up yourself. So I'm going to hit Save. I'm going to display marks as complete or incomplete for this assignment. And I'm going to create a new assignment group. My new assignment group is going to be called Group Assignments so that I can track which assignments have their own private Canvas space. I'm going to click Add Group. I do want everyone to access this group assignment, so I'm going to hit Save. I'm going to ensure that I publish this group discussion so that students can see it. So how do I manually set the members of my groups? By navigating to the People tab, you'll notice that my Inquiry Project group set that I created for my instruction is here. At the moment, I don't have any groups, so to create a group, I'm going to call this the Blue Group. I'm going to limit the group to 2 members and hit Save. Your groups can also have single participants so that they have more Canvas space for which to work. So how do I get my unassigned students into my groups? There are a number of ways. By clicking on the plus tab and adding them to the Blue Group, or dragging it across into the Blue Group. You'll notice that you get a notification that it is full. To visit the Blue Groups page, click on the 3 dots and click Visit Group Homepage. As a teacher, you can edit the group from this tab. But what do students see? From Trey's course, you can see that he has a to-do list, but he has a course groups list for Blue Group. So what can a student do within this small Canvas space? They can add an announcement and they can add pages. They can view the people within their group. They can create discussions. they can add files, and they can add and create collaborations. What they can't do is create a conference. This needs to be created by the teacher. To navigate back to your Evidence of Learning course, you would click on this link. Group assignments work in the same way. By clicking on an assignment and adding an assignment. With any assignment, give it a title and some instructions for your students to use. I've created an assignment group called Group Assignments so that I can track which assignments are going into a Canvas space. The mark is to complete or incomplete, and my submission type is online. To enable this as a group assignment, click on This is a group assignment. I can choose to assign marks to each student individually, or that the mark that I get is assigned to every member of the group. The group set allows you to set the students for each group. If they are the same as a previous group, for example the inquiry project group we did for our discussion, you can use the same thing. But if they are slightly different, you'll need to create a new group category. In this case, I'm going to call it Investigation 1. I'm going to allow self-sign up this time. I want to create one group, and I want to limit it to 2 students. This is purely because this sample course only has 2 students in it. And I want to automatically assign a student group leader, and I want it to be random. So I'm going to hit save. I want everyone to be able to join a group, and I'm going to hit save. Again, make sure that it's published. So what does it look like from a student's point of view? So as a student, how do I sign up for my group? If I go to the People tab, I can see the groups. I'm already involved in the blue group for my inquiry project. So as a student, I can see the people here. But in Investigation 1, I need to be able to join this. So I click on Join. I can now visit this Investigation 1. And you'll notice that I have a Canvas course for Investigation 1, and I'm in Group 1. If I go back to my Evidence of Learning, I now have 2 course groups. To submit my assignment, I'm going to click on Assignments. I'm going to find my Group Assignment Investigation 1. And when I click on Submit Assignment, you'll notice that I have a couple of options. I can send a comment to the instructor only, or I can send my comments to the whole group. I'm going to choose to submit my assignment via text entry. So I'm going to hit Submit. Because I've handed it in before a due date, I get the Canvas confetti. At any stage, I could resubmit the assignment. As a teacher, I can see that I have one assignment to grade. It's come in from Trey. I again can choose to send comments to an individual student or send the comment to the whole group. Within the mark book, you can see that I've got a submission for a group assignment by Trey. I don't actually have a submission for Win. With regards to group discussions and group assignments, it's important that you keep them managed and organised. Click on People to see everyone in your course, the groups that have been assigned to an inquiry project, and the groups that have been assigned to Investigation 1. In this case, through the self-sign-up, we have Win who hasn't chosen a group yet. I can create a new group to put him in, but I can also add him into an existing group. Because Trey has already submitted work, you need to be mindful that this might actually change things. Click Submit. You'll notice now that he's been added to this course and that Trey has been elected as the group leader. If you want to set Win as the group leader, you can quickly change him in this regard. Thank you for watching this PL Possibilities series video.